Hello, welcome to my student support system. In today's class, we will discuss about epilepsy or convulsions in children. This lecture is in English and if you want to study in Hindi, just click on I button and you will get link of Hindi lecture. Or you can directly visit my student support system. What is epilepsy? Epilepsy is central nervous system disorder in which brain activity becomes abnormal, causing seizures or periods of unusual behavior, sensation, and sometimes loss of awareness. Epilepsy is most common childhood brain disorder. The seizures or fits are triggered by change in the electrical and chemical activity of the brain. Seizures can be caused by anything that injures the brain, including head injury, infections, poisoning, or even brain development problems prior to birth. Often exact cause for seizure or epilepsy cannot be found, but predisposing factors may include prenatal complications, electrolyte imbalance, errors of metabolism, developmental defects, infections, and trauma. Prenatal complications such as birth asphyxia, intracranial injury during delivery together account for about 50% of neonatal and childhood seizures. Keep in mind that this is the most common problem, especially during home delivery. When there is delayed childbirth, it may lead to birth asphyxia. So we should spread the awareness that home delivery should be discouraged and institutional delivery should be encouraged so that this complication of birth asphyxia and intracranial injury during delivery can be prevented. Acute and severe electrolyte imbalance can also manifest with seizures, which may be the sole presenting symptom. Seizures are most frequently observed in the patients with sodium disorder, especially hyponatremia, hypocalcemia, and hypomagnesemia. Severe inborn errors of metabolism can cause epilepsy, including ceroid lipofuscinosis, cellulosis type 1, Gaucher's disease type 3, mitochondrial cytopathies, and Lafora disease. Infections such as neonatal septicemia, meningitis, tetanus neonatum can also cause seizures. Developmental defect, congenital anomalies of brain such as microcephaly, dysgenesis of brain tissue, microgyria, and agenesis of corpus callosum may result in epilepsy. These are some congenital anomalies of brain which also leads to epilepsy. Traumatic injury to the brain during delivery or thereafter, such as during home accidents or road accident for the children, can also cause seizures. What are the types of seizures, and or we can say how we classify the seizures in epilepsy or convulsions? Epileptic seizures are classified into two main groups: focal seizure and generalized seizure. Focal means when the uh, activity starts at one part of the brain, and generalized activity when whole brain is involved. Focal or partial seizures. The term focal is used instead of partial nowadays to be more accurate, because when we are talking about where seizure begin, focal seizure can start in one area or group of cells or one side of the brain. Partial seizures are further classified as simple partial seizure and complex partial seizure. In simple partial seizure, the child is awake and aware. Some people may not be able to respond during the seizure, but they are still aware that what is going on. Focal aware seizure can last from just seconds up to a couple of minutes and may involve muscle jerking, stiffening, or limpness. Only one area or side of the body is affected. Complex partial seizure, when the person is confused or not aware about the surroundings during the seizure, it is called focal impaired awareness seizure or complex seizure. The child may have a blank stare or repeat same action over and over, like chewing, rubbing the fingers together, lips making, known as automatism. He or she may develop simply freeze for few seconds. Now, generalized seizures. Generalized seizures are characterized by sudden onset of abnormal electric activities involving both sides of the brain, or we can say whole brain. There are 6 different types of generalized seizures. These are absence seizure, tonic seizures, atonic seizures, myoclonic seizure, clonic seizure, and tonic-clonic seizures. We will discuss them now one by one. What is absence seizure? Previously it was known as petit mal seizure. Absence seizure involves a short period of time in which the person loses a sense of awareness or space out or blank out. In absence seizure, the child blank out or stare into space for few seconds. This type is most common in children between age of 4 to 14 and usually it lasts 20 to 30 seconds. Tonic seizure. These seizures causes the muscles to suddenly stiffen, which can prompt you to fall if you are standing. Tonic seizure often happen during sleep and usually involve a loss of consciousness. After seizure, the person may feel tired or confused. Atonic seizure. Atonic seizure is a type of seizure when there is sudden loss of muscle strength. Atony. These seizures are also called as akinetic seizures, means there is no motion. Drop attack or drop seizure. The sudden lack of muscle strength or tone can cause the person to fall on the ground. Myoclonic seizure. If someone suddenly woken up during the sleep because the muscle suddenly jerked, it is known as myoclonic seizure. These seizures involve sudden quick jerk in the arms or legs. You may have a number of in a row or just one at one occasion. Clonic seizure. Similar to myoclonic seizure, the clonic seizure involves sudden jerky muscle movement. The difference is that clonic seizure is repetitive. Clonic seizure is characterized by repeated jerking movement of the arm or leg in one or both sides, sometimes with numbness and tingling. Usually this clonic seizure involved with a tonic-clonic seizure. What is tonic-clonic seizure? Previously it was called as grand mal seizure. These seizures are the type when most people associate it with epilepsy. First, there is a tonic stage when muscles stiffen, you lose the consciousness and fall on the ground, and next the clonic stage starts in which arms and sometimes legs begin jerking movement or twitching quickly and repeatedly. These seizures last for few minutes. What diagnostic investigations are done for this? History taking and exact description of onset of seizure. EEG, MRI, CT scan, PET scan, and single photon imaging computerized topography. These are the main investigations which are done for diagnosis of epilepsy or convulsions. Treatment. The first line of treatment of epilepsy is anti-seizure medications, or we can say anticonvulsive drugs. These drugs help to reduce frequency and severity of seizures. Common epilepsy medications include levetiracetam, lamotrigine, topiramate, valproic acid, carbamazepine, ethosuximide, etc. These medications must be taken consistently and as prescribed because they are long-term medications and should be taken continuously. Otherwise, all treatment may fail. If medication can't decrease the number of seizures, another option is surgery. The most common surgery is resection. This involves removing of the brain part where the seizure starts. Most often the temporal lobe is removed in the procedure known as temporal lobectomy. In some cases, this can stop seizure activities. Care of epileptic child. The nursing care of epileptic child involves two phases. One is the care at the time of seizure and second general management of child. At the time of seizure, we should keep the seizing person away from the obstacles that may harm him. Remove glass, sharp objects and other harmful objects from the area. Place a pillow, blanket or jacket or a soft, preferably flat object under the person's head if available. Be sure that the person not face down to prevent suffocation. Do not try to stop the person's movement or hold them down, but turn the person to one side if possible. Observe and record the type of convulsion, duration, part involved and frequency, and then record it. Warning sign of features should be noted, of the seizure should be noted. Nurse should make sure that make arrangement for safety precaution in advance and give medications as ordered. After seizures, vital signs are checked, recorded. Biting of tongue and incontinence are also reported. Provide psychological support to the parents to reduce their anxiety. Continued and careful reporting of the incidence of fits and their description is very important in deciding medication and other therapeutic measures for epileptic patients. Special attention is given for diet plan for the clients to maintain proper nutrition. During a fit, it is most important duty of a nurse to prevent any type of injury to the child. So watching such important videos, you can subscribe my channel, My Student Support System, like Facebook page of My Student Support System, and for making your notes, just visit mynursingstudents.blogspot.com. For latest update of videos, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join Facebook group Nursing Notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.